Not all superheroes wears capes. Some wear wellies. Wellies.
Hello everyone and welcome to the James Conway Experience. We're joined by a young man that I've been watching on YouTube and enjoying very much. And he has won my heart today because he landed with a bottle of Bushmills. Wonderful stuff. Chris Walsh from Galway.
Thank you.
Otherwise known as County Gaines. And there's plenty of people watching him. My own young fella's one of them. He really, really enjoys your content.
I appreciate that a lot.
Mostly reactions and stuff like that. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Sure. Well, I'm from Galway, so, out in the countryside a little bit, at least 30 minutes from the countryside. And, a few years ago, after college, I was sick of work and just, my job. So I said, I'll start up YouTube. And I do, music reactions, political commentary, turn a 30-second video into a 20-minute long video. So do that kind of thing. And I like to do personal training as well, tour guides. I do a whole bunch of different businesses. So, anything that I can help give back as well, I try and do that as well, personal training. But my favorite is the YouTube. Right now doing the YouTube, try and do as many videos as I can, reacting to most of the mainstream news or videos that are on X as well. So any sort of videos I see that are interesting, that need to get out to the public as well, because most people don't upload those videos to YouTube. Sometimes they're blocked, sometimes they're not talked about. So I think the political commentary to help kind of push, the movement is definitely the best way to be. But that's mostly what I do.
Now, the whole reaction thing is a kind of a subgroup in itself on YouTube or that. So there'll be a lot of young people watching. Mm-hmm. YouTube is pretty viable to kind of either make an income from or top up your income from it. Mm-hmm. But your content, I enjoy it because it's a good perspective. Do you know? Now, you're following a lot of kind of what the conservative movement in Ireland and America and all of that.
Absolutely.
You're doing great work at it. And I think what you're doing is bringing some stuff that's pretty controversial to a pretty normie base.
Absolutely.
How do you deal with the trolls?
Trolls?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the classic saying, hate never comes from above. And if it does, it's great. Great marketing, great publicity. But, honestly, I'm not... I used to read the comments more so when I didn't get as many comments, but now it's just a lot of comments, so it kind of just is in and out quickly. I like to be more consistent with the content as well. Trolling to me, I mean, I'd call myself a troll myself. If I'm commenting on different sectors, different areas, not as an anon troll, without an account sort of thing. But definitely I like to, have fun on the internet. But, I just don't take it too serious. I think a lot of social media is entertainment. A lot of the time, obviously, we're talking about serious subjects, but that's a little bit different. But trolls to me, I just, just ignore them. The hate, it just fuels you more. It gets you fired up to do more.
I like what you've said there, though, that it's only entertainment. I think a lot of people fall into the realms of thinking that this is real. And like I've been guilty of it myself on occasion. It's not a good thing to do. You don't want to think, oh yeah, by the way, everyone thinks you're a scumbag. No, right. In most things, there's plenty of people who think you're irrelevant if you get me. It doesn't matter what you think.
Right.
But I like your approach. Tell us a little bit about the personal training and that. So it's the gym bunny thing, is it, or what are you doing, man?
So I've been exercising since I was 15. I played lots of sports in secondary school, that kind of thing. Played basketball after secondary school, just, with friends, in college a little bit. Nothing too much in college, but then I was still into the gym. I kind of just, said, what could I do every day myself? Because, excuse me, relying on team sports, a lot of times, you can't, see whether or not you're going to get injured as well. And I don't want to be injured if I'm working at a job as well. So it's a little bit dangerous maybe. So I just said, I'll just go to the gym. I've never been injured in the gym, so I'll try the gym. And I just kind of kept with it. My brother says the consistency is kind of what gets you places. So the consistency, you want to do. But I do the personal training just online as well. So I have a few different clients. I had like a few clients at the beginning of the year. Mostly the beginning of the year is the most clients I get, every
do they
year.
Drop off after January? Is it?
Yeah, everyone seems to drop off pretty quickly.
February seems to be the month make or break.
Absolutely. It's like the New Year's resolutions, like, you make 10 and then it's just by 6 months and you're like, none of these are being completed. But no, the personal training is good. It's going good. I only have a few clients now, but I still get people every now and again, like some lady asked me on X, can I just send her a program? So I'm not going to be just like charging everyone. I like to send programs to people as well, if they help me out, or if they're supporting this kind of thing. So I just give programs away as well, but it's nothing too intense. I think a lot of people put a lot of seriousness into personal training, and exercise is important, but it's not as it's really important, but it's also not important. Like, it's good to have your health, so to speak, but like, it's not the end all and be all. If you're making the fitness about your life, it's a little bit long-winded. It's not the most exciting thing in the world, but it's fun. I like to do it in the morning for an hour. I'm not obsessed with it or anything like that, but the personal training is good. I feel like it's a very saturated market now, though. A lot of people are doing it. It's like the biggest thing in the world.
Is there a part of it though? How do I say it? You have a program. You can get it from any of the military. So you can get the American military program, or the British one, or the Australian one, or the Irish one. It doesn't really matter. I can't help but think, if you have enough fortitude to say, there's a program, I'll do that. Mm-hmm. The personal training thing, and I was saying, her brother is at it. Mm-hmm. For me, it's for those who lack motivation.
Absolutely, 100%. It's accountability. That's basically what it is. It's just 100% accountability. Have you hit your target for protein? And it's very boring as well. It's like, have you hit this? Have you hit this? Are you losing weight? And that's it. It's like, and if they haven't lost weight, you just shout at them for half an hour, and then kind of hopefully it kind of gives them motivation to kind of get better and better. But it's basically motivation.
It's probably just like the weight watchers, they all line up just to get weighed in every week,
literally.
Yeah, but that used to be the thing. What was it? Was it Slimming World or something?
Yeah.
And I mightn't talk too much about it, but anyways, I just thought, why do you need to weigh yourself in front of everyone else?
yeah.
And then one woman explained it to me. She goes, well, if you do that, you kind of feel that if you're doing it next week in front of everyone else, that you better lose something. Yeah. Whereas if you're kind of in the bathroom going, I'm still fat.
Right. Yeah.
Wear a black again this week,
100%. Yeah.
I'm going to eat that cake and I'll be even bigger. So what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
So that's interesting. You were kind of abroad for a while?
Yeah, so I was born abroad. I was born in Abu Dhabi. My parents lived abroad for...
What's it like over there?
I barely remember anything, but I remember going ice skating. I remember the heat being very intense. I went to school there for a few years. We moved back here when I was 6. And then, it was nice. So it was nice. I feel like a lot of people are going there maybe to do business or work different sectors. Like my brother going to do lecturing and this kind of thing. If you can't find work, it is good for work in some aspects. There's no tax as well.
Yeah.
There's no, they give you accommodation. They give you all these sort of, things. But, my dad, like he always said, like, you're not connected to there. And this is the whole political thing. This really actually got me thinking a lot about Ireland. It's like people come here. And then, like, there you couldn't get a passport. My dad, this is a good story. My dad actually was fined every day for 3 days until I got an Irish passport. So they wouldn't let me get an Irish passport. They wouldn't let me get a...
Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, like a Emirati passport. You had to get your own country where you're from passport. Like, so you're not connected to that area. Like, you could work there, but, like, you're not from the Middle East, And, that's kind of what I talk about in my videos quite a bit. And it's like... I think there to get a passport, it's like 20 years. You have to speak Arabic. You have to do the whole thing, like, and that's obviously not. My parents never did any of that. You're right.
Yeah.
So, that was the whole thing that actually got me thinking, like, a few years ago about the political Irish aspect of, being Irish, being not Irish. Like, what is the sort of, boundary there? What's the sort of line in the sand? Like, people coming and then, kind of claiming Irishness, and it's like you get the passport here, but the passport then is given out too easily, maybe. So, I talk about this a lot in the videos, and it is like a good concept. You think of other countries, about this sort of idea of connection to the land, like, and it is a powerful thing, I mean, here it's like after 5 years they give you the passport, and it's like you could be Irish, maybe you have Irish ancestry from Canada or US, but most of the time that's not happening. It's really coming from South Asia, like, Middle East and Africa. It's not really so true, it's so true that the government would just give out these passports so easily, and the whole, immigration topic. So
the previous podcast we were just after the recording. Now, I don't know if your one will be going out before it or after it, was with John Waters. You seem to have a more positive outlook than himself and perhaps myself. I think you've came to it recently enough, and you're like, no, we can fix this, which is positive in my book. You know, I hope to fuck you right.
Yeah.
But you talk about that a little bit. You see a good kind of future outcome of this, I take it. You have the belief that the Irish people are going to stand up and do something about it.
You know, like even I was like, my friend was always telling me, you know, the millennials like us, our age, like they're not like, you know, they're very like, you know, not into this sort of immigration thing. But then I think, you know, the people that are younger, like I was at the Athlone rally yesterday, and you know, I'm not, you know, a big player in that at all. You know, that's their you know, bread and butter. But we were just there, you know, observing, taking videos, looking, supporting, you know, as much as we could. And you know, you could see that all the young, you know, 14 to like 18-year-old guys, like Irish guys, were like supporting, and everyone was supporting. But in particular, like, you know, when I was 14, I was used to watch Jesse Ventura, these conspiracy theory shows on TV. You know, I loved all this stuff, but I wasn't involved like that. Like, they have TikTok now, and I didn't have the internet back then.
I love Jesse.
Yeah.
No, I'm just asking questions. That's all.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, watching that show was, like, interesting. I kind of got involved. Like, I kind of started thinking about it back then. But, like, definitely now you see the youth, like, definitely are more involved with, like, you know, they were like, oh, Ireland and this kind of thing. You know, it was really, like, I was like, wow, that's crazy. Don't know, it was like anyone that I know back when I was that age thinking like that. You know, the youth are definitely way different than millennials and anyone, even, you know, my parents' age, like, you know.
There's another aspect of it too, which is if you're kind of 30 and up, you have seen a state that was at one time functional. And you know, you kind of say to yourself, well, if we quietly get it back to that functionality, that's fine.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're 13 or 14, you've never seen it functional.
Absolutely.
And you don't have this memory of, oh no, I remember it being good. No, you don't. It was always bad.
Yeah.
So they don't have this kind of thing of, well, it was good, and maybe if we're quiet about it, it'll go. They're like, no, I was born into a shitstorm, and I intend to get out of it at some stage, you know?
Yeah, and it's like, you know, even thinking about it's because of TikTok, social media, and that is the big driver. Like, a lot of people maybe, and the protests are good. Like, I don't know what you think. I know I've heard your different takes on the protests, but whatever it is, good or bad, like, everything is good. My friend always says we need different people. We need the internet guy. We need this guy. We need the fitness guy. We need this guy. You know, it kind of need a lot of people to bring that kind of the movement together. But yeah, it is just from social media, the youth, like, for sure. Just, you know.
See, I'll tell you, I fell out with the whole lot of it because for years I was battering away, as I used to say, screaming in the wilderness. And then, as I says,
my friend says I'm screaming into the void on the internet.
That's right, yeah. Well, I was screaming into the void in public, so I was. And then, I don't know, as I says, it's just the whole, why are we here to get them out? And how are we going to do that? We don't fucking know, but let's try. And I'm just like, no, fuck this shit. Like, the whole thing to me as well, if you're going to have protests, there has to be an end goal. And my thing with it at the moment is there's not an end goal. You need to have, like, this is why, do you remember the pension protest, Darren? Remember when all the old people went up when they took away the fiver?
Yeah.
Right. Well, very simple case. We want our fiver back. That was the end goal. And we're going to walk here.
Right.
And we're going to get our fiver back. And what happens? The government looks out the window and they go, holy shit, all of them vote. Give them back their fiver.
The water protest.
The water protest.
Yeah, but there was an end goal.
There was, of course. You
see, my thing...
And a realistic end goal. They knew at a stroke of a pen they could wipe them charges. They knew they had that power. You know, same with that fiver. It was very easy to click Control-Z and just undo that one, you know. I think today now the situation that we find ourselves in is quite different.
It's very hard to define it.
Very hard to unravel. And
well, if you were sitting down with the government tomorrow, right, and the government goes, what do you want? And one fellow goes, I want all foreigners gone. And they go, okay, what do you want? I want some foreigners gone. All right. What do you want? I want
a little more control.
I want a little more control.
Yeah.
And then you get to me and John Waters. I want to talk philosophically for the next 3 hours. And then you see there's so much fucking bullshit. Well, not bullshit, but different perspectives.
Yeah, absolutely.
That you can't go, well, what are we marching for?
Yeah.
Do you know? Whereas, do you know, if it was a farmer's protest, right, and you said, I want so much per kilo for beef, you can march to that, can't you? Because if you go into the government, they go, what do you want? And you go, I want so much per kilo per beef.
Right.
Well, we can either do that or we can't. Or we can negotiate. Whereas the standpoint I think that's coming from our side is, there's 20 different viewpoints.
100%. It's just like, I remember like reading the book, like Arnold Schwarzenegger said, you know, if you're like a boat if you're like a boat in the harbor just going in circles, you're never going to go anywhere. Like you have to have a destination, you know? And now Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Good old Ernie.
He's lost his mind. So is Jesse Ventura. A lot of these guys, like, they started voting more like Democrat left. You know, they started voting way more left in the later years, like Arnold and
what happened to Jesse?
I don't know. Yeah, he started saying voting for Kamala Harris.
Yeah,
and I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, he was against all political parties, you know, and he was against like getting rid of the Democrats and Republicans.
But let me put this one to you. There was the Tea Party. Do you remember that after?
Oh yeah.
No, there was no. I'm not going back to.
All right, I was wondering where is this guy going?
Let me bring you back 200 years. There was the 2008 crisis. There was a thing called Occupy Wall Street.
Yeah, I remember that. It was in Galway.
Yeah.
Galway,
After that came a kind of movement in America, which was the Tea Party movement. And they took the piss out of it on Family Guy in that. It's good.
Yeah.
But that developed into a strange thing, which was a lot of people were going, you know, you can actually opt out. You can get your paperwork done. You can make a good case to not pay your taxes because your taxes are being used for funding of war and all that.
Yeah.
And there was an actual movement taking place where a lot of people were going, oh, the system? I don't have to be part of the system? Great. And then in rides Donald Trump on a white horse and goes, let's drain the swamp, everyone. And everyone, all right, that's the guy.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
What's your opinion of Trump?
You know, like Trump, you know, and for a while I even got the hat. I was so funny recently, but like as soon as I got the hat, out comes he's not releasing the Epstein files. He's not releasing. Not releasing JFK files. He's not releasing Martin Luther King file or Martin Luther King Jr. The assassination. He's not releasing JFK. He's not releasing any files.
Yeah.
And then it's like, what the hell? It's like, this is just that was his whole campaign was running that. And my friend says, you know, somewhere around the assassination, I think he got compromised. You know, not to get too deep into it, but you know, they say like the first term maybe it was proper, even though he didn't do a lot of the, you know, ending of the censorship of the internet. Definitely the internet's way more open now. But I'm not so sure it's the same person as before. I do still support the spiritual aspect, like, you know, of the freedoms and the, you know, wanting your own country to be America first and Ireland first and this kind of thing. I do support that's the spiritual aspect of that. But the guy himself, you know, there is a good argument to be said that I'm not so sure he's the same guy that there used to be. You know, I'm not so sure though, you know. But, you know, definitely some things you agree on, like, you know, he wants to put the jobs first, the American jobs first. You know, here, you know, the government of Ireland get crazy about that. You know, they can't believe that, you know, America would want to put their own country first before other, you know, and the corporations and taking the taxes and this sort of thing. But yeah, I'm not like a massive Trump fan, like, but it definitely, like, he's you know, he's better than Kamala, maybe. You know, certain aspects, maybe not either as well. Maybe compromise for certain countries. I don't want to say too much, but you know, you know how YouTube is. But you know, definitely the support. Like he also said that FEMA, it's like this. It's like I don't know, they said like the federal
emergency
management. Yeah, you're not allowed that. Certain states, California and you know, and New York aren't allowed that if they don't support certain countries. It's just like, this is just crazy. Like, this is just...
You see, I think he's played one of the greatest fiddles of all time.
Yeah.
Which is, he says, America first, I'm going to bring back these companies. And everyone goes, oh, good, the jobs is coming back. And then, like, he's there in the background going, well, it'll be AI has the jobs, but sure, the company will be back. So
right, yeah. It's
and then you have Palantir and all this, where he's like, they are going to censor everything. And I don't know. There's a lot of people on our side who kind of go, he's the only show in town.
Yeah.
So you have to support him.
I understand that.
Yeah. I don't know.
But maybe not. I can go either way with that, like, because, yeah, definitely the only show. I mean, there's also, you can vote for other people, but, vote for an independent, as Jesse Winter always said. Like, I like the independents, but, realistically, like in Ireland as well, me and my friends debate this, like, who would you vote for and stuff. And, obviously you do want to see a party like on the right get in. There's no representation right now at all, so it's that kind of thing. But, or at least a little bit. But like, you want to see more people on the right get in. But, maybe like that's the beginning to the end. Let's say, like, it's good to get more right leaning people into power. Yeah, definitely. You can't just say I'm going to vote for every independent, because there'll be way more people voting Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, whatever, and the independents will just be left with 3 votes, and it's just useless, See,
I think the Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil thing have done a massive job of getting infiltrated into the incoming population. So if you have 50% of the population which is non-national, it's probably not a good political policy to go, well, let's call half the country a bunch of cunts and see how that goes for us. It's not politically expedient. Do you know? Like, my thing would be, why don't you go to those 50% of people who go, I passed this, that, and other, and go, oh, by the way, you were lied to. They intend to use you as a slave class.
100%.
And instead of that, what we do is we march up and down going, get them out.
Yeah. I agree. I agree with that 100%. It's funny, like, it's a very complex topic. Even I don't understand it myself, but, my friend would always say, the left and the right kind of are similar in certain things and this kind of thing. It's more, I read a great post by Garrod Murphy.
Oh, yeah, he's good.
Garrod is a brilliant guy, isn't he?
Good,
I watch his lives.
Yeah,
unbelievable,
Yeah, he's good.
Keith, with all these different guys. But he said, just, it's not that you're against the left. I say it in my videos and I have to catch myself, against the left, like, quote unquote. And I use that as a catch-all term to describe, like, woke liberals and shit, right? But, you're not against left. You're against, like, the elite people at top that are, bringing in people and this kind of thing. It's not so much as saying, like, against, like, the average person. And this is the whole immigration thing, from, like, a micro scale. I have many different friends that are from ethnicities, everything like that. I never argued with anyone, fought with anyone, but it's from a macro scale. Then you're like, oh, you're just flooding everybody in.
Yeah.
That's where the problem comes from. Like, you're not going to be arguing with some guy because, obviously there's cultural differences, religious differences. Yeah. And there's a lot of differences, like, some that you can't get over. Maybe, crime rises, and they always say diversity is good, but in a vacuum, diversity doesn't do anything. It's just not, it's probably net negative, but like, it's a net nothing, it doesn't mean that it's good or bad. I mean, if you're bringing in crazy people, if you're bringing in, astronauts or brain surgeons, it's all relevant, it's all very, very nuanced, like, so, but
I think it's really stupid. I think as you're on the precipice of the greatest technological revolution ever seen, where the vast majority of menial labour is going to be done away with.
Yeah, 100%.
And that you said, what we need is more people for menial labour. What?
Yeah.
So the only conclusion that I can come to is they're importing a consumer base.
Yes.
That's all.
Yeah.
They've looked at the Irish demographic and said, look, you're an aging population, you're not really breeding. And then once these kids get to 18 or 19, they seem to leave the country. So 100%. Let's bring in a consumer base here. Do you know?
Yeah, it's crazy. There's people who don't even speak English. There's no there's no nothing, and it's like, who the hell's going to hire these people? Manual labor, okay, but it's like, you don't even speak English. How the hell are you supposed to do even any basics? Like, it's just, it just seems like the biggest scam.
I was in Sligo yesterday with ourselves there, and the little community hall where Dunnes Stores is, or that. Was
like down near the church, is it? No.
Yeah, when you come down the hill and you turn right at the roundabout to go to Dunnes Stores.
Yes.
There's a little hall there.
There is the bingo.
I heard this kind of, what I describe as Indian horn music, and I looked across and I didn't know whether they were Pakistanis or Indians. I can't decipher,
Right,
But I was just like, they're having a nice day. Fair play to them. So we went and done the shop, and then I was thinking about it, and I was like, I never thought I'd see that. I was in London long enough where I was seeing that, and I was like, I never thought I'd see that in Sligo.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It is unbelievable.
It's happening very quickly.
Yeah, that's the thing. My friend was saying, like, we went to get Supermax yesterday, and we were just sitting there, and like, it was just packed out. It was Saturday night, packed out Supermax local. And like, he was like, man, there's definitely a scam going on here. There's just way too many people. Remember, we used to come here as kids, and I was like, yeah, like this place was just not like 18, 19 teenagers. We were just, it's completely empty. There was just, now it's just a complete, revolution in that. Like, it is.
Yeah, but you're in Galway.
Yeah.
And I think the same thing is occurring in Dublin and Cork and all of that. But there's another revolution which is happening at the moment, which is you go down to our local and there's 2 people in it.
Yeah, 100%.
So you have these urban centres that are seeing this massive upswing of population and that, and at the same time you have the rural areas that nobody wants to live in anymore.
Yeah. And I just made a video about that recently. It was like Gripped Media. I don't know if anyone likes that channel, but I kind of like watching their stuff. Their stuff is pretty mainstream. They talk about good stuff.
Yeah.
But he was saying that like the pubs like one closes every 3 days or one every 2.
Bad.
Yeah, bad. And like now even when you go down there, and I was saying like, I'm a big conspiracy guy. I was saying, that is absolutely conspiracy, because when you're going to your local and there's 50 guys in there and you're all talking about what happened throughout the day and who's doing what and can I sell this and do this, it's like breeding the culture, breeding the heritage.
That's a great observation.
You're looking for your girlfriend, that kind of thing. I mean, it was basic for me, but I just understand like that is like, that's done now. It's like you're going to the club. The club is a big thing.
There's no clubs. They're gone.
Yeah, right. It's like that's not.
That's all it is.
Bars,
well, there's not even late bars like Sligo is. Sligo's terrible.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm beyond all that now.
Well, then again, I say terrible. If you're a left-leaning person, I'm sure there's a cocktail bar where you can discuss how Stalin was actually a sensitive guy who was trying his best.
Absolutely.
That exists. But for the likes of me. Like, I go back when I was 21, 22, you would go from the local on a bus to Sligo. There was 3-4 nightclubs.
Wow,
that's
unbelievable.
Now there's none at all. And I don't know.
It's just where you converse, like where you're going to meet like-minded people. Now it's just on the internet.
It's online.
Yeah, and like as much as I'm like, I'm pushing the online thing. Like, I do understand, like, and the internet is amazing. Let's not get it wrong. It's the one thing that you can fight against the government, this kind of thing, or anyone. But like,
it's not your be all and end all.
Yeah, like, and you're not really building very tight relations like on that. Like when I'm talking to you here, like it's a lot better. Like we can get to know each other, our expressions and this kind of thing.
Yeah.
When you're on the internet, like I'm just, as I said, shouting into the void. Yeah. Like, and you're just, your family, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I'm trying to, build up a flipping.
Do you ever think that they might have given it as a kind of a silly thing where you go, all these revolutionary figures, if we get them to have a little show and they get a weekly wage and they kind of go, well, fuck it, I'm learning a living and, like I look at the likes of, George?
You're distracted. Is that what you
basically,
mean?
Yeah. That the George Galloway. Do you know him?
Yeah. I've watched some of his stuff. I think.
Yeah. So him and Tony Benn, I think it was, would have made amazing speeches at the time of the Iraq War, and that they called it out. They said,
right.
No, you have no reason to go there. There's no mass weapons.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. And really and truly, what should have happened was they should have been years later acknowledged and says, you were right. You were 100% right.
Yeah.
We didn't believe you at the time, but now we trust you. Let's run this government. And instead of that, they have podcasts. You tune on to George Collyer, he has a funny hat, and he's still shouting out into the...
Yeah, I do know that guy. Yeah, wow, it's crazy. Like, all that stuff, like, nobody got fired, nothing happened with the Iraq war, nothing, there's no backlash at all. No, people got promoted, in matter of fact, because when you get promoted, then there's no questions. It's like, it's just crazy. That whole thing was insane. I remember seeing that on TV, and like, we were still in the Middle East at the time,
Yeah.
And like, my dad was like, we got to get the hell out of here because like, you don't know what's going to happen. America's going to invade every country, But I remember seeing on TV, and I must have been about 5, whatever age it was, 5 or 6. But yeah, we left shortly after that. But yeah, it was dangerous time. Like, we thought it was like crazy, but
there's an amazing thing there. Do you know the first Gulf War when Bush Senior was in? It was a girl who was meant to be a Kuwaiti, I think, if I remember correctly. And she gave a speech to Congress where she was like, they took the babies out of the incubators and smashed their heads on the ground.
Yeah.
And everyone went, That's it.
Yeah.
I ain't standing for babies having their heads smashed.
Yeah.
Get the choppers in the air.
The
America went over and kicked fucking ass.
Yeah.
And then what happened? It was all lies.
Yeah, the same thing with the where, you know, I don't even want to say his name, like, but like the leader came over and said that WMDs are in this place, go in, like, and there wasn't anything, like, you know, it's just crazy. It's just crazy.
Like, and you have to say it. I like Americans, do you know what I mean? I really like Americans. But there's a segment of America that really think the rest of the world is after them.
Right.
At the first throwdown of any sort of information, it's just like, get the choppers in the air.
It's there's no thorough thought. Like, well, even if you look at 9/11, like there was no, and this is again another Jesse Ventura, there was no indictment for anyone. There was no trial. There was nothing. You know, and then, you know, Osama bin Laden apparently was killed in 2011, and it's like, we got the guy, guys, and that's it. Like, and it's like,
if you think of that story, you know, the most wanted man in the world, we got him, and what we done is fucked him out of a helicopter on the way home.
Oh, man.
Did you take any photos? No, we took no photos. What? No, you didn't. That did not happen.
Absolutely. I don't believe half that. And even like the guy that did it, there was some Robert O'Neill. I remember I watched his podcast. He's like an Irish guy, well, Irish American, but he was saying like, oh, I killed him, you know, but he has like 20 different stories of what happened. You know, there's people there that don't collaborate his story, and it's like this whole thing was just completely bullshit. Like a lot of the stuff we're told, like definitely. That's why my T-shirt I wear and I try and wear it in every YouTube video is like, mainstream media is dead. You know, this sort of mainstream media that we're just fed here, RTE, News Talk, Virgin Media, Joe.ie, which Joe.ie I think is the worst because it's targeting the younger people. And really, I see it now. I see the playbook. The younger people are the only people really that are really pushing the other sort of narrative. Like.
Did you see Joe a couple of weeks ago? They were going around asking young people, would you fight for your country?
Oh, yeah. Of course,
I thought that was immensely dangerous.
Yeah.
I was just like, why are you asking young people that? Because I'd have my own conspiracy theory that a lot of young people are going to find themselves on the Eastern Front.
Oh, yeah.
Getting killed.
Yeah. You know, I always had this discussion with my brother and my friends and stuff, you know, and I was saying like, you know, the Russians always have, I'm not sure who's against what. Let's just say any sort of attack, you know, would America come and help us, and, you know, the UK come and help us? But, you know, I was arguing again with my friend last night, of course they come help us, but really, does anyone have your back in this world? Like,
no.
Are America be like, oh man, they used to be us, like, or, I don't know, like about that, lads. Like, we got to defend ourselves here. I feel like, and we can't defend really. I mean, you know, you guys might be able to with the thing, but really, like any electricity goes down, any sort of, you know, Google Pay goes down, you're finished. You know, you're done 2 days. Like, you're finished.
This is the trouble. I think a lot of young people would do well to realize, you know, if you skill up. And I mean that, fundamentally skill up, that you say, well, look, worst case scenario, I can head into the mountains with my tent, and especially a young man.
Yeah.
Because, you know, in a survival situation, the truth of the matter is a wife and kids is burdensome. So if you're on your own, you have a good, relatively good chance. Any young man should know how to do that.
Yeah.
And they don't.
Yeah, I used to be obsessed with Bear Grylls, Rambo, and I used to be obsessed with that stuff. And then as I got older, I need money, I need this, and just that whole, you know, they call it...
You know Bear Grylls was a pure psyop.
Yeah.
No, don't say that.
Entirely.
I remember him wrapping himself in the skin of a sheep on the side of a mountain.
I remember that episode.
There's a fella that you do well to look at, John Lofty Wiseman.
I remember him as well. He was great.
He wrote the SAS handbook. Now,
I have that.
It's good.
Yeah.
Good
Amazing,
read.
yeah.
Well, now one of the little known things about him was, so the SAS were operating in Northern Ireland, you know, but we'll say there was a contrarian viewpoint, but they did appreciate that these men were well trained and they wanted to know how they operated. And Mr. Wiseman done a great deal of good by writing a book about exactly how they operated, you know, and it was read.
Yeah.
Bear Grylls presents stupidity.
Yeah.
Absolute rampant stupidity. Do you know? Like the idea of drinking your own piss and stuff like this. You know?
It's all
It's
entertainment.
nonsense.
Yeah.
But it's It's the same thing. Insects, snakes. He's basically pointing you in the direction of all of the things that might kill you. It's nonsense, like. Do you know, like, conserve water. Fair enough. Piss in the vial. Do you know, piss in the pot and say, in the next 2 days, I might have to drink that. You don't just piss in it and fucking drink it. All right, keep going now. That's it. It's terrible.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like, it shows... I can't express how disappointed I... Have you seen any of the stuff he makes as well? The tools or that?
Yeah. His knives and stuff like that, is it? Or
the knives and the multi-tools. And,
Gerber or something.
Yeah, don't buy any of that shit.
It's all shit, right?
No,
he has a brand now with China. Has he? All right.
It's just like, if you want to buy a knife, you can't.
I didn't see him in about a decade
Yeah. Like, I'd be of...
I looked at it, but I never bought it. Nothing. Yeah.
Well, if you think about it logically, right... the frontier in America, right? Fellas headed off into the West. They lived. What did they know? They knew what they knew when they left Ireland and Scotland and England. It's the same thing. You know how to make a basic shelter. You know how to find water.
Yeah.
You know how to find a bit of food. Grills does not present that. It's like all the time you're on the run. Do you know?
Right.
Is there someone behind you, Bear? What's going on?
Who's chasing this guy? Yeah.
Like, imagine a plane crash, right? Okay, what we need to do now is leave the site of the plane crash and head for the nearest road. It's 500 miles away.
It's great.
Stay with the fucking plane. Someone is going to go, or do you remember our family who crashed with the plane?
Yeah.
We might find that.
The logic is insane.
It's fucking insane.
All the food is on the plane. Yeah, no, he was like, gather the food. I'm like, you'd probably be better off staying for a while.
Well, here's one, Bear. Where is that convenience trolley that was on the plane? Do you know the one the little girl was pushing up and down the aisle? Surely that's there someplace filled with biscuits and crisps.
Right, yeah.
You know, just hang tight there for 2 days. Someone will find you, so they will.
Yeah, it's crazy. But the plane crashes have been massive in the news lately. Have you seen all this thing about the plane?
Too many.
They're turning upside. They're landing upside down.
Too many.
And they said it's a DEI higher airplane. But like, it's just crazy. But and they said it's a certain company. I forget the name again, but the American company. But it's one Boeing, that's the one. And they said that in the flight in India, if you're sitting seat 11A and all this is all just mainstream.
All fair.
Yeah.
That one in India, they want people to believe that some man fell out of the plane, went through a roof, landed on a bed and walked home. And I'm sorry, but...
Yeah, it's absolutely insane.
Thank you. No.
Yeah.
Tell me this, though. Did you ever see the videos of the mechanics under the planes?
No.
It's... If you ever don't want to fly again...
Oh, they're putting sellotape?
Well, no, apart from that, there's so much... going on that I'd be familiar with engines and stuff like that. I'm looking at that and going, there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong there.
Yeah.
And I can't help but think they're doing this. Do you know how they don't want you flying anymore on the environmental thing and all that?
Right.
That they're starting to reveal these videos and you're just like, holy shit, there's a lot of shit that could go wrong there.
Yeah.
Are you big on traveling? Do you travel around still, or what?
I do a little bit. I just go on holidays, but I haven't gone this year at all. The last couple of years, I just went to Canada with my girlfriend. This kind of nothing too.
What part of Canada did you go?
A few years ago to Toronto.
All right,
just the main, and then to different parts. Went on a 16-hour drive, and actually the drive up here from Galway reminded me of that. That's what I was thinking of. Actually, I meant to say that. Like we took a 16-hour drive, 16 hours, which is really, it was like crazy. I flipping nearly died, but I'm used to driving 2 hours. In Ireland, we're used to driving 2 hours, but it took this long drive, and it actually reminded me of how scenic it was coming up here. It's amazing. But I don't travel too much. No, I like I'm not big. I feel like a lot of this stuff is like, I say it on the channel, I want to like motivate people to work out and be better, but like a lot of this is like vices. Maybe people get angry when I say that. It's just like, drinking and partying. A lot of this is promoted to young people. Like, let's go to, like, you see that Martha lady that died in Montauk or something in New York, like a few days ago?
Oh, the young lady.
Yeah, it's super sad. Like, you know what I mean? But this is like all done. Like, they're like pushing people. You need to go and promote your business here, and then you're partying with their aristocrats. All the rich people in this area. And then she did. I think they came out that it was drugs or something. Overdose, and they said it was overdose. And super sad. It's just like, could this been prevented if she was here? And obviously you have to go and see the world as well. But it's like, maybe they pressure people to do this. You're not going to be shit if you haven't seen the world. If you haven't seen the world, Chris, you're closed-minded. But what about the community aspect? Like, what about the whole flipping Ireland's getting destroyed community? Now it's like, go see the world. It's like, I don't think you have to see the world. You just, talk to your dad, your cousin, you talk to your friends, like-minded people like you guys. And it's just like,
That was the young blondie girl, and I think she had like a little fashion brand going and all that.
Yeah.
She got dead on a yacht, wasn't it?
Yeah. And it's just sad when you see that. It's like, God, like, and I said it in the video, I was like, it's like pressuring people to go abroad. I don't know what they're doing, like, but it's just, I hate to see people like Irish people getting hurt abroad. It's like,
yeah, it's becoming a more regular thing too.
Absolutely, yeah. So that's what I was thinking. Yeah. Like,
now look, it always went on. It's just I think the whole social media element and
maybe
global
promotes
media.
it more. Yeah, promotes it more for sure. Yeah.
So you're not really too concerned then about traveling or seeing it or anything like that?
I mean, it's okay. I'll travel a little bit, but like, I'm just working nonstop on the videos and that kind of thing. I like to do my work. I felt like maybe for many years, of my life, I was partying maybe too much till 25, and I want to actually work on something. Maybe I got psyoped into enjoying life a bit too much, maybe that kind of thing. And I feel like I wanted to do things that weren't really long-term beneficial for me, like building building a business or, building a base and this kind of thing. I was too concerned going to college, doing this job. And these jobs really like that I'm doing, or I was doing, just don't give a damn about you, really. It's kind of, you're a number, and I kind of want to focus more on like my long-term business, and I like to do it now. I'm probably working triple what I was working before at a job at my 9 to 5, but I enjoy it more. It pays off. I see a future in it.
How many videos per day do you do? Because you do quite a number in the day, so you do.
I used to do a lot more with the music stuff. I was going crazy, like obsessed. It was like 20 videos, like crazy, crazy. And obviously that doesn't. I was trying to push the YouTube, trying to get more viewers, but that actually is detrimental. People don't want to see 20 notifications a day. But now I do like 2 or 3, something. I did 5 the last day. I do as much as I feel like, and I see this a lot, and I can talk forever about this. The last 6 months as well, there's been like 2 guys or a guy from Galway. Think about this. I think there's a few different people that I see. I don't follow them per se because I'm trying to focus on my own thing. But he has like a massive Instagram. There's another guy from the north, I think, as well, huge YouTube. There's another guy, Derek Domino, I watch as well.
Yeah.
There's huge. There's so many people that have been doing it for a while, maybe a year. And, it's amazing. But even just lately, and they do the exact same thing I do, just react to videos, react to any mainstream videos. And they put out Instagram reels. So it's like consistent. I think he has 700,000, 800,000 followers on Instagram. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
He single-handedly, I think, has pretty much... just transformed like a lot of people's political opinions, because the amount of support I go on the channel and all my mutual followers, like, or whatever that is, mutuals, is like it went from like 3 to like 50, and it's like, wow, so people actually are watching this and they actually like this.
This is Derek Domino.
This is the Instagram guy.
Okay.
I don't even know his name. I apologize. He's from Galway though. I don't, but I just see his reels.
Not the Unbroken Man.
Oh, I like him as well. Yeah, I like him as well. He's
good.
Amazing as well. I should have done a collab with him. I actually would love to do a collab with him too, but I love to collab with everybody. First collab I've done today. But yeah, like just you can tell that the social media really is transforming people's opinions in real life.
Yeah,
definitely. It definitely helps tremendously.
I've been surprised since we started doing this, because this is by no means a big channel.
You have big views though. Like I do think like 29,000. I was watching 30. 50, 5,000 is relative. People think because like I mean, most of my videos I get like 500 views, even if political views. So you do have a big platform, like
Yeah,
I think so. Even if 5,000 subscribers is great, like.
Yeah,
it's great. Like most of my subscribers, like I said, are from music and that kind of thing. So
yeah,
I still react to the music as well. I love the music, but you do have quite a big, in my opinion,
No, thank you very much. No, but I've been pleasantly surprised on several occasions where people have pulled you to one side and say, "I watched the podcast."
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. Thank you very much. Do you know
the reach is definitely way more than you think? People email me, see me in real life. Oh, I really like your videos. I'm like, thank you so much. I mean, I'm like so grateful, I wouldn't even expect any of that, what I mean, at all, but people.
Why is the TikTok thing so much, I won't say easier, but the viewership seems to be far, far higher on it.
I don't use TikTok. I had a channel for a while just promoting different music stuff. I never use TikTok because I think if I was to post any of my content on TikTok, it would get like just taken down. I think a lot of the content. I think so, because I don't say crazy stuff, but I'm swearing, I'm saying retarded, I'm saying this kind of thing. I'm trying to speak my mind a little bit, but YouTube is way more open with that stuff, which I do appreciate. I think, and this isn't trying to discredit anyone in TikTok, but I think when they first started TikTok, it was pushing people's videos like crazy because they wanted the platform to be amazing. And then YouTube didn't have YouTube Shorts. YouTube just had the long form. Yeah. Right. So if you had like 100,000 subscribers on YouTube before Shorts, like you were like flipping, that was big deal. Like, but now with Shorts, I mean, you can get that like in a month. You can you see some people and you're like, wow, it's like the Shorts really push the algorithm. It's it's fast content. People want that. But I think, like I said, not to discredit anyone, a lot of the Chinese bots maybe like push the content maybe in some way. I mean, I'm sure there's bots on YouTube as well. So I'm not really so sure, but definitely I listen to a lot of massive creators, and a lot of the mainstream creators in Dublin who I don't support because they push crazy narratives, of course. But even they were saying, like on podcasts I would listen to years ago, like, oh, when I posted like one video on on TikTok, I got 100,000 followers in like no time. So I don't know what's happening there, like. But
you see, I think there's a massive thing that's changed, which is when the social media came along originally, it was really a bit of fun. It was fun. Mm-hmm. It was a way of staying in contact with classmates, with relatives, stuff like this. And then pretty quickly people realized, no, this is a way of making money.
Scale.
Yeah. And I can't help but think, like, me and Darren here could do something very unique tomorrow. We could come around tomorrow and say, do you know something? Let's make a Flat Earth podcast and let's talk about it from now on. The likelihood is your membership would grow exponentially because people all around the world would be like, oh, thank God someone is talking about it.
Right, absolutely.
And the truth of the matter is, would you be doing a great service to the local community in Ireland? No. Would you be a lot financially better off? Yes.
Right.
Do you know, if we wanted tomorrow and say, do you know, fuck this crack of saying conspiracies are true or false, or let's even look at them. Let's just admit, or not admit, let's just say it's all true. And we're going to discuss each one now in depth. That's the podcast.
Yeah, and we could never prove nothing for sure.
You'd never be able to prove it. But you'd be able to bash out fucking controversial content. And apart from that, no government minds you talking about conspiracy.
Right, yeah, that's a good point, actually. That is a great point, actually, yeah.
Well, to be truthful about it, any government, if you're in the realms of talking about conspiracy, the likelihood of you proving it is next to none.
Zero.
So you can come out and you can say something like, well, this was a false flag operation, let's talk about that. The government knows, yes, those two men have talked for 2 hours and they haven't proven anything. That suits us the finest.
Wow, yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah, 100%. Like, even that one that went massive viral, the Gardaí getting stabbed there up in Capel Street. Like, that just went insane viral. I was watching people's videos, they're getting crazy, and like nobody knows who recorded that video. Like, I normally shout out the people in the video wherever I get the content from. Like, normally it's like Real News Era or people that share content on X. Like, I normally shout their name out. Nobody knows who the hell recorded that video. Like, nobody knows anything about that video, who those people were that recorded it. Nobody knows anything. It's just so ambiguous. Like all of a sudden this guy's just recording Capel Street. Like, I asked in the video, I said, what the hell's on Capel Street? And they said nothing. There's nothing on Capel Street. It's just, he's just recording, and then he's like getting closer, and I went into the whole aspect. I talked for like 2 hours on a live stream about it, but it just, you couldn't prove.
Do you not find it strange, and I'm not going to say it's true, false, any indifferent, but do you not find it strange that two people were sitting on an outside bench on Cable Street and recording each other whilst their coffee,
and the camera was kind of static.
Yeah. And then
like it was left
turned over here.
Yeah.
And then as the stabbing happened, all of a sudden, woo!
That guard car at the end, in fairness, just with the woo, and then it landed. It's like it was.
Like, I don't know. I'd love to live in Dublin if that's the case, because our response times are between 40 and 50 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
No,
it's unbelievable. That was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, I love like the army. Like, I was going to join the Irish army when I was younger. Like all my friends and like the guards, and obviously now you find out the guards just handing out things. I watched Bad Boys 2 when I was 15 and said, I'm going to be an Irish guard. And like,
it's not the same thing.
Yeah. You're not in Miami. This is all bullshit, right? It's all entertainment, right? But it's
there's far less bitches than fast cars.
yeah. But it's like hilarious. And then I wanted to do all this thing, firefighter. Obviously, a strong guy. I want to do this stuff. My dad said, "Yeah, go for it." But like, so I'd watch all these like police videos and like all the stuff on YouTube, and they're all public, like the shootings and stabbings. When you compare any video to this one, you're like, this just doesn't add up. I've watched like thousands of hours of footage because it's just entertaining. I really love like watching certain American police and this kind of Canadian police, British police, European police. When you compare any of the footage to any of this footage we get here, like this is all bullshit. Like this is not like with the guardy getting stabbed in the hip, and I was like, that just never has happened ever in any footage I've ever watched ever. Like this is complete.
The danger for me was the amount of people who came out after and went, "Oh yeah, we need to arm the Gardaí," and I was like, "What?
Yeah.
We need to what now?"
Yeah.
Do you know? The people who told us we couldn't go 5 kilometers, we're giving them a gun now, are we?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, like even I was saying sometimes, like, would it be like, okay, the police can defend themselves, but like really that's not going to be the case. That's what the case is going to be is they're going to be shooting way more Irish people than anyone who's coming to stab them. So that's, obviously like, and I think the detectives have guns as well, the lads that came up, like, so it's like.
And there's armed, what are they called? Armed response or something. Yeah, it already exists. I got a little bit frightened by the idea that, because I've been watching a lot of the new recruits, and the last thing on my mind is, what that 5'2" girl needs is a gun. That's it. Do you know? I had an interaction one evening. It was very funny. It was a band guard and a senior guard. Fella that I'd be familiar with him. He does a bit of farming and all that. Yeah. If there was anyone that I could point and say you would antagonize a situation, it was her. And your man, he just got out he was in the passenger seat. He got out of the car and he came around and he says, "You doing, Jim?" And I says, "Not too bad." I says, "I was okay. And then I've been attacked verbally," I says, "by your partner." And he goes, "Yeah, I know that. Look, sure, you might do this, that, and this. Sure, leave it at that." And I says, "All right, sound, no bother at all." And I just thought that fella de-escalated by, first of all, recognizing that you're a fellow human.
Yes.
Do you know?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, by the way, we're both humans. There's no authority here. I'm just asking. That's all.
I know. It's like a. Even when I was working security, I worked security for 7 years at the Galway races, and the power trip that people get as soon as the badge comes on.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's insane.
I'm like, because at the last 2 years I was in charge. I was in charge of 40 people. But it was kind of funny. I was very happy. I asked the manager. I said, "Can I be like a manager? I just wanted more pay, like a little bit, right?" So they said it's only like €200 more per the week. But I said, okay. They said, "We'll put you on there." I said, "Maybe it'll help for my business thing." I'm not sure. It didn't actually do anything. But at the Galway races, and like instantly you could just see like the people that were in charge, like, oh my God, like, it's just a power trip. And I was always like, yeah, you can use a bat. I was so nice. I just did it. I let everyone do everything apart from, not do their job. Like, if they want to go bathroom, have a cigarette, smoke, this kind of thing. You weren't allowed to give people smoke breaks. I was like, you can do it. I'll mind your spot while you take a cigarette. You just go for a little walk, rest your legs, sit down. And like the other guys were like, no, like they're like drill sergeants in the flipping military. I'm like, man, like it's not that serious. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, nobody kicked up fuss at the Galway race.
Do you think that's half the problem, is that people have this real essence of, this is a very serious job, and you're just like, no, it's not, mate.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's that one they do say now? It ain't that deep, bro. I like that one, so I know. My son does say that to me all the time. It ain't that deep, bro.
Yeah, like literally, it's not that serious. I'm just like, half the things that we worry about aren't that serious. It's just like, I don't worry about anything like, if it's not gonna flip and endanger me or whatever, I'm pretty laid back, you know what I mean? So
what's the plans now for growing the channel, going forward, all of that? What would you like to do?
So I'm gonna keep doing the politics for a while. I still do music reactions every now and again. I like the politics. I'll definitely keep going with the topics. Like any topic I see like that's mainstream, I do that. I like that. I see like other people doing it as well. Derek Domino, everyone kind of does the same sort of topics that I react to as well. There's no.
Would you ever react to conspiracies?
Conspiracy.
Because I
was
think
going to keep that one for the Patreon. Actually, that's why I thought we'd kick that one out for the Patreon. Aliens, you know.
Oh no, we'll talk
51.
about it. But I'm saying from a business standpoint for himself.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know? I'd watch that.
Yeah,
I would watch that.
Hidden history. You know, all that.
Do you watch the Why Files?
What's it called?
The Why Files.
No, I don't know.
I need to get on that.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's on YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
And he was recently interviewed on Joe Rogan. I think you would do such a good job at that.
Yeah.
And do you know Irish mysteries?
Yeah, I love all that. I love that. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah. No, this is going to be good. Look at it. Let's conclude the first hour and head for the Patreon. It's been a pleasure to meet you.
Absolutely. Great to meet you as well. Amazing.
Yeah, and everyone, thanks for your support on Patreon and Spotify. We're heading over there now. You're the guys who keep the lights on. From myself and Darren, thank you very much.